We was talking about the Clarity Act, where stablecoin regulations. With these stablecoin regulations, it put our treasury on stablecoins. So countries are no longer reinvesting in our treasuries. So they are tokenizing these treasury on stablecoins. And if you can use your fingers and Google, you know, who's tokenizing treasuries, you'll see that every major stablecoin is tokenizing treasuries. So when you study in the Series 65, a treasury par is $1,000. You see what I'm saying? So if they put $1,000 on the back of one stablecoin, that doesn't mean it's gonna be $1. It probably be one treasury dollar. So that's but I wouldn't look at things from a USD standpoint. I'm just showing you that your purchasing power is way higher with stablecoins in the digital world than you think it is. So that messed up a lot of old money when it comes to people trying to save, and because now you got to tokenize everything. You got to force all this old baby boomer money into the blockchain. So, which was a good thing because now we're no longer going to be behind the eight ball when it comes to this digital world and how to these digital economies. So tonight I'm gonna show you guys what I mean from the last time when it comes to the dollar and that crypto has nothing to do with the dollar. And then I'm gonna show you how crypto is a commodity, and I'm gonna show you the deflationary mechanism of crypto. Then I will show you uh I'm gonna debunk the ISO thing so nobody gets caught up in that. So I'm gonna start off with uh let's do the commodities first. Let me share my screen. Uh okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. So this is just a DeFi wallet I use on Decent. All right. So let me go here. All right. So it's $1,280 inside this DeFi wallet, right? So the value doesn't change. Only thing that changes is the price. So $1,280 is the same thing as 1,100 euros. You see what I'm saying? The value never changes. It's just the price. So this is what makes crypto a commodity because the value never changes. The Hong Kong dollar, you see, the value is still the same. And this ain't nothing but like a foreign exchange converter. That's all it is. So what XRP was supposed to do was cross-border payments. Basically, it's like all these economies are going to be borderless. So fiat is not going to be a thing anymore. Physical fiat, everything will go to stable coins. So when it comes to payments from a retail into a credit investor, two different things. So like I see a lot of retail investors buying RLUSD. Every stable coin is not equal. And I know I said that last time. RLUSD is be strictly for institutions. And the only way you can become an institution, you don't gotta have trillions of dollars in the bank. You just gotta your asset under management gotta be worth more than 120 million worth of assets, your valuation. Once you go over that, you'll be accredited. I mean, you will be so it's accreditation, then it's qualified purchaser, which is worth 5 million, then it's QIB, qualified institutional buyer. So once you become a qualified institution, now you're an institution. So now that's where things come in at. So now The value is still the same across the board. Wherever I go, the value is going to be the same. That's what a commodity is. This is the Japanese yen. So if I took my same dollars, this how much yen I have if I go to Japan. So what's going to happen is the history of the dollar is that we got off the gold standard in 71 with Nixon. All right. Nobody's currency is backed by nothing. It's all air. So by that being said, what gives the dollar its power is if countries want to trade with each other, they gotta convert their currency to the US dollar, meaning the petrodollar. Whenever they trade oil, whatever they trade, they always gotta convert it to USD. So what happened in Venezuela was Venezuela holds the most oil reserves, and Russia and China was there. So what they was going to do is they was going to create a deal to where 20 to 30% of that U.S. buying power we used to have with the petrodollar was going to go away because those countries were going to do deals and trade outside the dollar, and that was going to cause a snowball effect to where the purchasing power of the dollar would have fell dramatically. So he had to go in and be like, "Hey, let me stop this deal right now because we don't need China and Russia controlling anything in the West." And when that happened, you seen Venezuela go into hyperinflation. And that would have happened to us if he would never did that because the petrodollar, it has nothing to do with the fiat dollar. It's just our fiat dollar is powered by the petrodollar. But Trump knows that one day all these countries are going to come together like a megazord and be like, man, we just not going to use the SWIFT system. We're not going to use. Look how strong BRICS is growing. BRICS started off with 5 countries. Now it's like 20, 30 countries now. You know what I'm saying? And while all of these countries that's joining BRICS is partnered with XRP. So that's what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with the dollar. It has nothing to do with nothing. All it has to do with control. And the new control is going to be energy. People, energy, people is energy. Oil, energy, electricity, food is energy. You know, I remember I was growing up in church and it was like, oh, it's going to be a famine and this and that and that. That's why I wanted to be a farmer so bad. Because I'm like, man, it's like he who controls the food controls the population. I'm like, man, I control my own food. So that's what really put fear in me to become a farmer. But I didn't know that my lifeline was that I have farmers in I got uncles and things that's farmers. So not to get off track, but once these countries stop using USD as to trade with, that's where the power comes from. They have to trade their currency to ours in order to move to get resources. So once they stop using it, the dollar's going to fall, the petrodollar. And the treasury is already falling because nobody is refinancing. Basically, let's just use that word. Nobody's buying back the long-term treasuries. So what's happening is our government have to buy them back. So that's just like, let's say you own a Foot Locker and nobody buying your shoes, and you buy your own shoes. It looked good on paper, like, oh, my business will float. But then eventually, your business will go in a negative, and then you'll have to go in bankruptcy. So that's what's happening with America. But America is having everything to stable coins. So the treasuries that's being dropped are being tokenized to stable coins. So they're moving that value into the digital world already. And you can Google these things. So sorry, I think I'm talking. I'm not even. Y'all still can see my screen. I'm sorry.
No, it's a blank.
Oh, my bad. My bad. My bad. Dang, I got carried away. Um, what about now?
Nah.
All right, let me do this. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do this. So, um, and if anybody got any questions, you can ask me. Like, now's the time to engage. Like, I don't want nobody thinking that they're interrupting me. You can ask me anything you want to. But now is the time to start asking questions because, as you can see, things are transpiring to where these countries are getting ready to stop using the petrodollar. So if your currency is not backed by anything and you just saving this thing that's not backed by nothing that everybody is going to stop using, why are you saving it? So you need to be investing it into things that's going to be in the digital realm. So that's why crypto is one, but you got to know what to get into crypto. And that's based on you. Like it ain't based on no USD price and this and that. It's based on you. Um, Land. So the equity, anything with equity, life insurance, land, gold, all those things can be tokenized and transferred over into the blockchain. Dang, bro, they're not letting me. Here we
What's a
go.
good stable coin to move around?
So from the last discussion, we talked about types of stable coins. So we got one that's pegged 1 to 1. So you can get USDC. That's the most interoperable stable coin right now in the market, and they're micro compliant, so you don't got to worry about them being delisted or anything. Like USDT being delisted everywhere, not in America, but you see why they're being delisted because they're not compliant. There's a lot of dirty money in there. Um, let's see. All right, here we go. You can see my screen now.
Yeah, I can see his screen.
All right. So, uh, let's go here. So everybody, I'm not. I'm assuming that nobody knows nothing. So I'm just gonna show why crypto is deflationary. So if you go to here, you see, total supply, max supply, circulating supply of each crypto. So let's say Bitcoin, since everybody knows Bitcoin. The most Bitcoin ever created was 21 million. The total supply is the amount that's left. And the circulating supply is what's available to these exchanges. So it's only 20 million Bitcoin left, and that's circulating. So what makes it deflationary is nobody's going to create more Bitcoin. That's it. Whatever the price, whatever the amount is, that's it. So that's how tokenization works. That's how everything works. Whatever it is, that's it. So it's not like you can just willy-nilly your way in and be like, oh, I'm finna just get some tomorrow. You have to start getting it now because once everything, then it's like, all right, it's a global economy. So it ain't like everybody in America need crypto. The global economy is going to use these things. And fiat, if it's just not going to be worth anything. So now, when it comes to value on crypto, this is a site right here that I use. So this site right here shows you the amount of assets that's on these blockchains. And with tokenization, it's not like, oh, it's let's say you got a house that's $500,000. You're gonna break that up into 1,000 pieces because it's whatever it is, you could resell those shares for a higher price. So that 500,000 can easily turn into 5 million like this if you got people investing in it. Let's see if I can. Let's see if they're gonna show me something. Where is it? I'm trying to find the list of blockchains and the amount of probably can't find it on here. But basically, this is a site you'll go on when you start finding out, what assets, the value of the assets that's tokenized on these things. So that's if you get into tokenization. So everybody, if you don't want to get into tokenization, you don't have to. It'll behoove you to get into it, but you don't have to. But here, let me go here. So, all right. So this is the coin overledger. So this overledger is basically is the bridge between the legacy. Legacy just means old or physical to the digital world. So basically, all these companies that we use every day is already connected to the blockchain. It's just they haven't, in legislation hasn't passed to where you can start seeing it. So when people be like, how I'm gonna use my crypto? Look at all these payment APIs that we already have connected to the blockchain that we use every day. So they already there. So you don't got to worry about walking around with a cold wallet. You see what I'm saying? Like all of it is already there. So Walmart Pay, Samsung Pay, Google, Apple Pay, all these blockchains are already connected to it. So this right here, these things we use every day, all of these things are going to be Web 3 real soon. Probably Web 4 and 5, but we're gonna say Web 3 to get because more people are familiar with Web 3. Um, but they already connected to the blockchain, so it'll be easy to just update your app and you'll start seeing a wallet. I think Cash App got that. They got a Bitcoin wallet on theirs. So that's why I'm like, hey, everything is already ready to go. It ain't like they gotta do extra. Like all these things are already ready to go. And because you see bankings, they already ready to go. And then, um, Amazon warehouse services. I would get into that, but that's like that's another onion that you got to peel because then you'll start getting into the Amazon sidewalk program and things like that. And those are things that I would like if I was you guys, I'd be familiar with. Like, what is it? Stuff like that. Now, so let's get to the ISO. Let me turn my screen off so nobody's distracted. All right. So this ISO thing. Let's just say I buy H bar and I got 10,000 H bar and H bar go to $1,000 a piece. Did the value of H bar change or did my buying power change? You see what I'm saying? Because if I bought it for 20 cent, let's say 15 cent right now, and these things are deflationary, did my buying power go down or did H bar value go up? Because my dollar is inflationary. So you see the negative correlation I'm talking about? So as commodities go up, inflation increases. Meaning, if I made $100 million off H bar, the price of air is gonna be so high, you're gonna think you won $100 million, but you really didn't win nothing because on you can't live with $100 million with the hyperinflation. And that's the concept that I'm trying to get people to get out of that this so-called $10,000 XRP is going to send everything through hyperinflation. So it ain't going to be worth anything in the real world, in the physical world. And don't even make sense because how can a dollar give these cryptos value if the rest of the world is finna drop the dollar? So what I just showed you on my decent was that everybody have their own value, well, price, but the value is still the same, but the price is different. So if everybody got their own price, then and we're not using a dollar, that means we don't have the dollar is not going to have no value when it comes to crypto or any crypto. So the real value is going to be use case and scarcity because it's deflationary. So when you find a use case, you got to read white papers, you gotta know partnerships, you gotta know if it's a commodity or security. You gotta know these things, and then you be like, all right, cool. Then I can load up on it because I see myself using it. Or I'm using it already, like Spark and Upland, things like that. So not to get carried away, did anybody got any questions?
Oh,
Okay. Okay. Without the dollar value. Yeah. So I'm listening. You can go. Okay. So yeah, it'll still be able to be used, but it'll just be a different valuation. It won't be like, oh, this is worth $100 million. Because you can't take that to China and be like, oh, this worth $100 million when they looking at it like, man, we don't use the dollar no more. We don't care for that. So what's the real value? The real value is the use case. If I got 3 billion people needing this crypto to use, and I only got 100 million of them, you see what the value comes in at? The scarcity? Like, oh man, I need this. The value of it is going to increase because of that demand is going to be so strong for this crypto. But each crypto got different use cases. It's not like you gotta buy all the cryptos at once. You just gotta figure out what I need, who I am and what I want to do within this digital world and what I like to do. And then I can just transfer my money into that. Like people buying H bar, but they don't have no assets to tokenize. Because H bar is just all about tokenization. That's all it's about, tokenization. So you can load up on all the H bar you want. If you're not getting into tokenization, it'll be pointless. You got to have something to tokenize. So, and the people buying it because they thinking, oh, the USD price is going to go crazy, and it's not the case. It's the fact that the value is going to go up, but you got to have something to tokenize. Because life insurance is another equity that you can just build on. Like you could build equity in your life, your children's life. I can build equity in your life, and because your bank account do it all the time, they'll take out a policy on you, and if you die, they get paid. So that's what it's about. It's about equity, controlling equity. That's what evaluation is. It's not about USD anymore. It's about equity. What do you control? Do you control people? Do you control food? Do you control water, air? What do you control? Because air and water rights are RWAs as well. So it's not about USD no more. So the reason why I got into that is because, as you can see, each state, going back to yesterday, well, last week, each state got their own stablecoin. So there's going to be pockets of economies everywhere. It ain't going to just be like, I got $500 and I'm finna go to South Carolina. Like, if you don't have the adequate value or you're not a component of the state, whether you're a resident or you're doing business there or you a commodity to where your value is the same wherever you go, then you won't thrive within that state. So you probably won't even be allowed to go in that state because that's how they like it's just what it is. Because every economy is going to be different. So you got to make sure that your value is the same wherever you go. That's when you start getting into digital IDs. That's when you start getting into all these things like KYCing, like WorldCoin, like stuff like that, to where the technology that's out, they'll know what valuation you have. What do you control? And when I say control, I'm not talking about Holocaust stuff and this and that. I'm just saying control as in assets, equity. That's all it's about, equity. It's about what do you control. And the best way to protect your equity is estate planning because you don't want to put nothing in your social security number. So, and it took me a while to figure this out. And like I said, I used to be in fear a lot. And now it's like, it's gone because now all you got to do is stop thinking the dollar is the dollar. Stop thinking the dollar is the most important currency in the world. It's going away. But you have to start reimagining, okay, in this digital world, how do I want to move around? Like, do I
Question, bro.
want yeah, I'm listening.
Can you show them the dollar index on like TradingView and show them the value because we're still under 100% or 100 pennies. We're at like 99 right now, but it's if you could show that outlook, that'll probably give a better picture to the dollar valuation, and you can show the time lapse of like what the dollar was valued during COVID versus like the 2008 financial crisis, and then where it looks like we're heading for 2026.
So I would if I was on my tablet, but I'm on my phone. Hey, but look, can you do that?
Sure.
Okay, but that's basically that's what's happening. And so to piggyback of what you're saying is that that's exactly what's happening. Is the fact that more we print, the less your buying power is. And I know the old school thinking is I'm just gonna load up on gold and silver, but you still have to tokenize it. You can't just go into a store and be like drop a whole bunch of gold. You have to have the equity in that gold still has to be transferred from blockchain to blockchain. You have to know how to do that. And will
Yeah,
there be platforms? I'm sorry.
nah, give me 1 second. I'm finna get off my phone and get on the laptop because I don't know how to share my screen and just on the phone
I could
like on the
share.
chat. Walk me
I
through
got
it.
you.
Let me see. Only show videos. Let me see it.
While he's doing that, do anybody else got a question? And it's like I just want people to engage because now it's time to like if you don't know anything, now is the time to ask like because I don't know what you don't know.
Nah, but thank you for providing this information, man.
So,
Yo,
but
Decoria, so every commodity that we own, every RWA, we want to move with it, utilize that value. It has to be tokenized on the blockchain or any type of blockchain.
yeah, it's different blockchains that tokenize, like Polygon, whatever. But tokenize, all right. To explain tokenization is basically it's like you taking the equity of an asset and you freezing it and you storing it on a blockchain. So you pulling it out of the legacy system and putting it on the blockchain. But then when you start doing that, then you start getting into the digital nations and virtual countries to where you'll start seeing cities become their own nation because all the value in that city is in that controlled economy of a digital economy where you start seeing uh nations pull up, but you'll see treaties everywhere. So, but that's where those pockets are coming at. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, you gotta have equity. Well, you gotta have the equity has to be able to be transferred around these blockchains. Now, is there going to be platforms the where they let retail do it? Yeah, but you're not going to control the equity. Yeah, do y'all know a company named Link2? Y'all have heard of that company?
No,
So Link2, they just got in trouble last year because they was allowing retail investors to invest in um unregistered securities like Ripple. They was letting so they was people was signing up with Link2, putting their money in there and buying Ripple stock. But Ripple is a private company. So the kicker is you can't do that. Like as a fiduciary, you can't do that because they're not sophisticated enough to be buying unregistered securities, and they don't really own them. Link2 own them. So whenever you buy stocks in a company, it's called a book entry, to where the company will write the entity that owns this percentage of the company. And by you being under Link2, it doesn't reflect that you own that equity. Link2 owns the equity. So when Link2 went bankrupt, a lot of people lost their money. That's why the SEC had to step in and things of that nature. You can't do that with retail investors. Notice how everybody who get caught with fraud and stuff like that, if they fraud institutions and stuff, yeah, they get in trouble and stuff like that. You barely hear about it, but they get in trouble on the back end. But when you start messing with them retail investors, that's when things get like you start seeing the Sam Bankman Fried,
Issues.
and so that's what it's about.
So I
So
see
you
Lark
want
just posted it. Is this yeah, this is yeah, because I can't it won't let me stream on in here for some reason. Maybe it's permission based.
it might be that's yeah that's what
But he's showing
right. So
the
he's showing
dollar
the actual
index chart
right.
and if you look at it, he's got the perfect time frame too for the monthly. If you've noticed that, like, we do these spikes and then we retrace and we retrace pretty hard, and it looks like we're on that same track record around most of those majors. You have the same major outlets like the 2008 financial crisis right there. And then going back, if you go across a little bit more, you'll see for COVID, right before COVID, and then that spike. Then we had the dip. We bought it all the way back up in the last 3 years, and then it dipped again. And then we're coming into this place right now where, if you notice, we're staying above this 104. 104 is a very psychological level on that dollar index of change in terms of dollar strength. And with all the kind of market sentiment in terms of economic data that we've gotten, as well as the recent government shutdown. So the government shutdown is still a high possibility in 2026 as well, that a lot of people aren't speaking on right now. The
Right.
reopening was premature. The temporary bill that they passed doesn't have long-standing effects, and we can still go into another government shutdown, which could once again tank the dollar to that second level in promo for these stable coins. That because I feel like that's what the government wants. The end result is to they're trying to basically pump and dump the dollar like a coin, like a meme coin as of right now, and then roll all that money into stable coins.
You're right. Because as you can see, Jerome Powell under investigation because he
Yeah.
won't cut rates.
Yes.
Yahira, why do I have to ask you more than one time to do the same thing? In a second, I'm
Hey,
gonna get this belt that Grandma has in her hand and pop you because I know you got in trouble there at school. Let's go.
Aaron, mute up. Uh, but yeah, Jerome Powell is under investigation because he won't cut rates. But
Right.
cutting rates weakens the dollar. But like you say,
Mm-hmm.
you finna pump this thing up and crash it. So that's why I say it's gonna look like you see it, this QE, all this quantitative easing going on. Oh, we finna get $2,000
Money
from this
printer.
tariff. Right. So and then now you got China finna do QE. You got Japan about to do QE. So
Japan's gonna have the best ROI for doing QE, to be honest, because as much
they
as
never
they're
did it.
that's what I'm saying. As low as the valuation right now, even if you go, because like the USD JPY on a forex outlook is a safe haven pair. Like that is one of the easiest pairs to trade because of the yen's weakness. We have so much strength over the yen that even if our dollar is weak, as long as the yen doesn't have any sort of positive outlooks, it's always going to be bullish in favor of the USD side on the USD Japanese yen. And you can see, like, even in the recent, like, we've really only been going up on that Japanese yen pin, but you see it's kind of topping right now, moving over to that same, it's way back, like around 1990. If you go to the left and you see where that peak was, right there. So notice how that's exactly where we're hovering at right now. And now that's very crucial because if we don't reclaim that as like now a support, because right now potentially that's resistance from the US dollar, Japanese yen as a safe haven. And if the yen gets strong, that puts a real fear in terms of the US dollar's dominance globally. And it's looking like
So
it's double topping, almost triple topping up there.
and it's gonna be a snowball effect. So
Mhm.
I didn't want to crack this can of worms open, but hey, let's talk about it. This is what's gonna happen, man. With these tariffs, they going to I won't say force, but let's say a lot of these companies finna come back to America because of the tariffs so high.
Mhm.
But going to increase um work labor because ain't nobody finna be working for pennies on the dollar like they did overseas. So now you're finna pay a lot of these folks high dollars just to do the same thing you was doing overseas. So what's the hedge against that? Automation. So people, I'm gonna lose my job to AI. You're not losing your job to AI. You're losing your job to automation. AI is just gonna run it. So when you do that, there's a show called Universal Basic Guides. The NFL and Fox created it. It's an animation, and nobody take it serious. But these are two brothers that lose their job to automation that get $3,000 a month from the government. So it's predictive programming. But
Mm-hmm.
this is the flip side to people saving. If you keep saving, this is the flip side of that. If you don't become an investor now, that's the flip side of it. Like, hey man, because you ain't gonna know what to do. Ain't nobody finna teach you this blockchain stuff no more. Like, not for free. So now it's time to become an investor, not a saver. Because you're saving something that ain't gonna be used in the future. Fiat, it ain't gonna be used. So when they do that, a lot of these jobs, it ain't gonna happen like in a blink of an eye. It'll be gradually happening. But I say by 2027, you will see a big difference in the job market because ain't nobody hiring right now.
Yeah, 2025 was the I feel like that was the precursor. That was Q1 for them. Like every year is potentially a quarter. Like Q3, Q4, we saw a massive slashing in jobs. Like, and the unemployment rate continues to kind of teeter. And as of right now, we don't even know how much we can trust the data that's actually coming out in terms of U.S. economics, because
We
it's
have no
heavily skewed because of the players that Trump has in office, basically cooking the books, making
right.
things look in whatever format that he's looking for his outcomes.
And with the government shutdown, they didn't release the data till like I think that this month they finna release that data from November, December, and stuff like that.
It came out
So
December. It came out in December for like October.
okay. So that economic data you're seeing, like man, like I said, I don't want to talk like I'm not trying to put no fear in nobody. Like it ain't nothing to fear. It's just now's the time to get off the dollar. That's all it is. Like get off of it. Don't save it. Invest it into things that can be transferred over. Reason why I keep saying RWA is because the equity of the RWAs can be placed on blockchains through NFTs. And that's what tokenization is, NFTs. So what I'm saying is your value is already being transferred over from a economic standpoint from the United States. So this notion that the dollar is strong, the dollar ain't going nowhere, there's not gonna be no real reserve currency ever. Like nobody's finna get bullied anymore. So but you gotta equate to your own value. You have to go out and create your own. Everybody gonna have their own ledger. So that's all it's about. And once you do that, once you realize that that fear goes away, then you start looking into what you like to do. All right, I'm into real estate. I'm into this. I'm into that. I'm into music. I'm into farming. Like there's farms being tokenized to where you can invest in that. You know what I'm saying? It's cryptos into that. But you gotta know what's going on. Buy land. Reason why I keep saying buy land is because there is no upkeep. There's no real maintenance there. It's just raw land. And it's deflationary. The price will never fall. You could buy gold and silver, but you better have a military. I mean, you better be scrapped up. Yeah, because you don't know what people do when their ideology rip apart. You know, somebody have $200,000 in a bank account, or let's say they got $200,000 cash flossing, and then all of a sudden it's not worth nothing. You don't know what people do. So though I say get off of it. It's not worth anything. Get off of it. And that goes into credit. Like when it comes to credit, back then we borrowed, we kept borrowing. But what's gonna happen is SOFR, when you study SEER 65, they teach you about the secure overnight finance rate. Basically, whenever you borrow something, it has to have some collateral. So if I borrow $1 million, I need an asset with that same value as collateral. And that's what you're seeing on the blockchain, lending and borrowing. But you have to have something to pledge. You can't just say, oh, I got a good credit score. No, you got to have some type of asset, something to pledge. And once you have that, now you can borrow. So credit ain't credit no more. So I wouldn't be financing nothing right now. Unless you have an asset that you can pledge. Like even if I become an investment advisor representative or a registered investment advisor. If I become a registered investment advisor, I got to be worth $35,000, or I got to go get a surety bond to pledge. I can't just say, "Oh, I'm good." You got to have some type of asset to pledge. So that's what I'm saying. Equity. Get as much equity as possible. But you don't got to go broke doing it. You just got to get that ideology of I'm finna stack my savings account, which inflation is eating that apart like crazy. You can't even save because your buying power is shrinking, and that's what you're seeing now. So, but the opportunity for this blockchain stuff is very liberating. It's very liberating, and you'll miss out on history, man. Like it's crazy. Like even us in this room right now, we can create a digital nation right now, and if all of us got the value on the blockchain, we can create our own digital nation. That's how crazy it is, because everything will be in the air anyway. So I ain't trying to ramble too much. Anybody got any questions? I'm sorry.
So would you say the Series 65 is top priority? And also, do you have to be accredited to tokenize, or can retail investors? I doubt they can do that, right?
Well, to get your own ledger, you got to be accredited. So now the Clarity Act, all right, if they pass it, the CFTC will come up with their own version of accreditation because they don't want to be under the SEC. But they don't care about your value. The SEC care about your value and your knowledge. The CFTC, the Commodities Futures Trade Commission, they care about your knowledge. So you got to know what these private markets. If you know something about trading and the markets and stuff, then you'll become accredited under them. I don't know how long that's going to take for them to actually pass that bill or whatever. I'm just saying they're trying to make it more lenient for retail investors to get in rather than the SEC. So, it like let's just say I don't want to be accredited. I just want to deal with straight commodities payments. I'm not gonna go be buying. I'm not gonna buy Ethereum. I'm not gonna buy XRP. I'm not gonna buy HBAR. I'm not gonna buy what's another token, Polygon. Like if I'm not into tokenization, I'm not buying it. So because that's the only way you can really use that value, because that's all these blockchains about, tokenization. So did I
So,
answer your question?
yeah, you answered my question, bro. I appreciate it. So, do you got to get accredited with both entities, the
No,
SEC plus?
just one. No, just one.
Okay, all right.
So credit is just you just sophisticated. That's all it means. You're a sophisticated investor. You're not a retail investor. And that's all it is, man. Basically to keep the private market private. And that's what, like, if you pay attention to the Dallas Stock Exchange, that's gonna be private. It ain't gonna be like the New York Stock Exchange. Because most of these companies are gonna go private there. But it's gonna be a stock exchange on the blockchain. It ain't like BlackRock and Citadel is backing that. So that's all. Like it ain't nothing to fear. Like you just gotta get off the dollar. Stop saving. Stop thinking you gotta save to get ahead. You gotta be an investor now. Any questions?
All right, man. Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah. Anybody got any more questions?
I got a question, bro. So earlier you were talking about valuations for these cryptocurrencies, and not to look at them at a U.S. dollar standpoint. Do you think it's a good idea to, when it comes to, like, we just looked at the visual for the U.S. dollar versus the yen? Do you think it's a good idea to look at these cryptocurrencies um, and and compare them to themselves? Like, looking at, let's say, XRP and comparing it to Ethereum and looking at that chart.
I wouldn't do that. As a trader, you can. You can. But as a acquirer, somebody who just buying crypto, I wouldn't do that because, like, let's just say, all right, not to put your business out there, like you're trying to build a garden. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
is a shovel more important than a water hose? It's not.
I guess it depends.
Because
I guess it
everybody.
depends on perspective.
You see what I'm saying? It depends on what you're using it for. I can't dig a hole with a water hose, and I can't water my garden with a shovel. But that doesn't mean that because I can't do it with that, that doesn't mean the value is not valuable. It's just valued in a different area. But if I'm not into that area, I don't need to be buying it. So if I'm not into watering, or if I'm not into tokenization, or if I'm not into what's another one that people into? Let's say if I'm into payments. If I'm into payments, then it's like, all right, I'm just going to focus on what's payments, like what is good for payments. That'll be my
So,
first objective.
so in that sense, would you look at, you know what I'm saying, let's say you're looking at peer-to-peer payments like retail, and let's
Okay.
say there's two cryptos that basically do the same thing. Would you say would you compare those two, like comparing a spade head shovel to a flathead shovel?
All right. So that's like saying, let's compare Jasmine Coin to Strong Cold. So both of these are for payments, but we know Strong Cold is an American company, but at the same time, it's a stable coin from an algorithm standpoint. And we know they partner with Nacha, and we know that they're built on top of XLM, which is great for peer to peer. It's a peer to peer payment blockchain with MoneyGram, Western Union, all of these things. So, and now Jasmine is a crypto built for Japan. It's for payments. It's like the Asian Bitcoin. But if you don't look at it from a USD standpoint, look at it from, I got, let's say China and Japan probably like 3 billion people. If I got 3 billion people needed to use this Jasmine to facilitate payments, peer-to-peer payments all over, the Asian continent, then hey, that's a lot of value. Not saying you won't be able to do the same thing in America with Jasmine, but because of the areas and what it's used for, then you get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So uh but yeah, but like I say, when you start going through that, now what's gonna separate that is white papers. When you start reading white papers, then you'll be like, okay, I can see more use case and where I'm trying to go with Stronghold than Jasmine, or I could see me using more Jasmine than Stronghold. So that's between you and you. Like I'm not gonna be a financial influencer and be like, man, y'all better what's a coin, everybody? Man, y'all better go get some Doge, man. Y'all tripping, that thing finna go up. Like, what's the utility? It's internet money. There's no real utility, but because it's fake money. But because Elon Musk put it on the map, everybody want to get it because they thinking the USD price gonna go. Now, is there some utility there? Yeah, because you got all these people using it because of Elon Musk. So there is some utility there. So, but it can be created. Kind of like Shiba, man. Like, what I'm saying? Like, if you got enough people using it, man, hey, you can turn it into something. You can create some partnerships. You start building on it, that's what it is. But the thing is this the thing. It's something called the Ethereum virtual machine. Every blockchain is connected to the EVM. If you got some substance, you connect it to that EVM. XRP, XLM. All right, even XRP is something called XLS 20D. That's XRP hooks. That's connecting smart contracts to the Ethereum. That's how these blockchains going to be communicating interoperably. Like, it's nothing about this blockchain is better than that blockchain. It's about what you're going to be doing. That's all it is. Like, if you in the gaming, get in the gaming. There's plenty of gaming cryptos out there. Play to earn games. If you into art. It's plenty of that. Tokenize your own art. If you into racing, like whatever you into, like I don't know, but that's between you. But I wouldn't look at it like, hey man, like what I used to hear is, yeah, XDC finna take over Ethereum. It's two different cryptos, but both of these cryptos got the same codes. They just different blockchains. XDC, Ethereum, Polygon, Binance, all of them can bridge to each other. You could do that with your MetaMask. So it's nothing about one being better than the other. That value can be transferred it can be bridged from one blockchain to another. It ain't about controlling or nah, man. Like I wouldn't look at it as a competition. Look at it as what you need out of this blockchain. Any other questions?
Appreciate it.
One more boy, Wesley Snipes. Come on, you had a lot of questions today. Come on, bro. Ask me a question.
I was about to say, I'm driving right now, but like, if you're into art and stuff, like, what's a chain that's more like that has more applications for, like, say, an artist?
If you're in the art, tokenizing your
Yeah.
art. I wouldn't know off the bat because I'm not into art. And that's the thing, like I don't know all these blockchains. Like, don't think I'm just sitting here no guru. Like, I'm into tokenization, stablecoins, and payments. So if you along those lines, I can break that down to you. But when it comes to art and stuff like that, it's like that's something you got to do a deep dive on. But that's
Okay.
not like
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah, the most that I've learned about was OpenSea and stuff like that, like where you can sell your art for like Ethereum and stuff, and then you post your art on the OpenSea, and then people buy your stuff. And then also there was another one on Solana. I forgot the name, but
All
that's
right.
all I got so far.
I see what you're saying. All right. So let's say OpenSea, right? OpenSea is a marketplace, right? So what's happening is your art is an RWA. So what you need to do first is whatever all your art, you need to get it appraised and then tokenize it to the NFT. So you can't just create an NFT and say this is art. You got to actually have something of value on the back of the NFT. And then
Okay.
if how's the NFT, then you can send them the art. Like, okay, this person bought the art. Boom, I'm gonna send them this art. You see what I'm saying?
So,
Instead of them paying you cash, they'll just buy your NFT collection.
all right. So like appraising, like in real life with like an
Yeah,
art appraisal.
yeah.
Okay.
Because you got to know the worth. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you'll take that appraisal and store it on these NFTs. So you got to create these NFTs and then store that value through smart contracts. But like I say, that's going to require some accreditation.
All right.
So, but that could be your lane, bro. Like, man, shoot, like that could really be your lane. Like, I be in VR
Yeah.
and nobody got no personality. Everybody redressing Goku, everybody making e-girls. Nobody got no personality or no substance to where they can create their own avatars and sell them.
Because
Like,
all the AI people, my bad to cut you off.
no, I'm
Like
listening.
all the AI people, like they're not really creative, but they're doing AI to be creative. But it's like they don't have like good ideas, and that's why they're in the tech field to begin with. So it's like actual creatives that I've seen and stuff. They've been making some dope stuff, but like they've been like rug pulled. So now they don't want to do anything.
So, all right. So this what's happening right now. What's happening right now is that our ideology, whatever you look at the world as, let's just say I'm a Christian and I believe that Jesus is gonna come back. No disrespect to nobody else's religion. I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah.
I believe that whatever it is, I believe that black people is the most superior, whatever ideology that people believe, all of that is being ripped away to where it's a blank canvas. So basically you gotta create your individuality have to be expressed. So you can't use AI because you using other people's data. Who are you? So now you got to express yourself through, you know, through this art, and that's that creativity gonna come out. But a lot of people can't be creative because everybody is not authentic, and that's the scary part. Not everybody got to be themselves.
Yeah,
So
even with like Instagram and stuff, they're like,
that
oh,
yeah, right.
this is how you get followers. Use these specific sound effects. It's like, why am I using the same sound effects that everyone else is using? Like, why am I
Because
using the same
nobody's authentic. Nobody's authentic. So once you become authentic, then you can actually start creating. So even with followers, how do one person got this much followers? Like, I'm not following nobody. Like, come on now. Like, be authentic. Be yourself. Think highly of yourself, and then you can create. But Instagram got everybody thinking you gotta be this certain way, this and nah, man. Like, be authentic. What's crazy is there's a lot of bots on Instagram. But WorldCoin finna wipe all that out to get all these bots off the internet.
Thank
Cause
God.
you gotta prove your humanism. You don't have to use WorldCoin, but I'm just saying, like, the average Joe Smo, when they see that UBI hit, man, they finna come get that. Like, man, yeah, scam my eyeballs. And that's just what it is, man. So, but when you start becoming more digital inclined and you start moving your stuff around, then you see what I'm talking about when the value of your, let's say, your assets or whatever it is increases and your buying power changes, and you can go out here and do what you want to do and manifest stuff out of this metaverse into the real world. Don't become a martyr. Don't try to save nobody. Don't try to, like, no, like, set up your estate, this and that. Don't try to go buy no Lamborghini and be flashy. I wouldn't put nothing else on the internet because now what the evolution of the internet, nobody's trying to get into that. But I think that's something that we really need to talk about one day, like where the internet is going and where it's coming from, where it's going. Because now you'll see that we're actually in a multiverse. Like, oh man, like it ain't just no one world no more. It's gonna be worlds. So that's why I say you got to make yourself a commodity. And but your authentic, you being true to yourself is going to be more valuable than anything. Like that's the biggest thing. Like knowing who you are, not what somebody told you to be. Who are you? What do you like? You see what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Uh, did anybody got any more questions? I really want to engage. Like I really want to like whatever question you got. Like I really want to engage.
Why do you think the Clarity Act was pushed back?
Said it again. I hear the last part.
Oh, I was saying, why do you think the Clarity Act was possibly delayed?
I don't know, man. Hey, bottles. Hey, you got to realize if they pass that Clarity Act, it's gonna rip the market in half from a global standpoint. Because we already about to rip the market in half with this Jerome Powell investigation. Because if he stepped down, oh man, that's crazy.
They after Joe Powell.
Yeah, I guess Trump can't fire him because the Federal Reserve is not a part of the government, but he can apply pressure.
He's
So,
probably just the fall man. Jerome Powell's probably the fall man for the Federal Reserve.
I mean, he's not the
Yeah, I
fall
wouldn't
man,
call
but
him fault, man. He
no,
just is he's the head chairman. So I mean, if you want to deem him that because he's the lead, but he still needs six other men or men and women to vote on his behalf in order to enact anything. So he's not a one man
exactly.
entity by far. He's just the leader of
Okay.
FOMC. But they just
Yeah,
trying to they're an entity
apply
by
pressure.
themselves, and I mean that's a whole other conversation of the Federal Reserve because once again they're not a U.S. government entity, but that's the government's bank. But imagine the government's bank telling you, "Hey, we don't want to cut these interest rates because it's going to hurt the citizens. But the banks don't care about the well-being of the citizens. They just want a cheaper price. But he basically, the Federal Reserve is now in favor of the US retail citizen versus the US Banking Commission. And that's where Trump is putting pressure on Jerome Powell, is because Trump's friends are the bankers.
That makes
Right.
sense.
So that's why I say, like, they really just trying to pump this stuff up, buy all the assets, and get out of there. But that's going to leave the retail, everyday working man and woman, like everybody who's just saving and not investing, they're gonna leave them up, up shit's creek in a way. Like it's gonna be crazy because it's like, man, we're not using that no more. Like you can have all the fiat you want, you just ain't using it.
But I
But if
believe
you
that
got
they might come back and try to they're gonna save. That's where that whole I know you're probably familiar of it with the UBL, like universal basic like income.
right,
Yeah.
so there's a legislation called the Guaranteed Income Pilot, 2021 Guaranteed Income Pilot. So if you read that legislation, it hasn't passed, but it's like it's been a thing. But then you see like cities piloting their own universal basic income. The thing is, because crypto is deflationary, everybody ain't gonna be able to move around in it. And because all these jobs be automated, what's the only thing that's gonna circumvent that is socialism. And that's what socialism is, universal basic income. You don't have to be that. You can be the one to be like, hey, I'm gonna already put my footprint down in this digital world already before the masses get here. And boom, you'll be all right. But if you sit back and thinking, I'm just gonna keep saving, that's on you.
So when you say when you say the UBI and like deciding if you want to just go off your own like IP, I guess. Um, so you're saying like you have to choose between the UBI or you can't like take both?
Well, you don't need both. Like, let's say you already are. If you paid attention to the Clarity Act that I broke down, let's say you start getting these commodities, and I just showed you the payment APIs that's connected to the coin overledger. So Visa amount. Let me show you this. Let me show my screen.
I'm just
Uh,
asking questions because like I'm not
no,
gonna act like
no, no. Don't. All right. Let me. Sorry if I'm like. No, I'm just.
nah. I'm not like shading you or anything. I'm just asking a question.
No, I want you to. I want you. Let me see something. Um. All right. This is a stablecoin treasury. Well, it's a blockchain that's built for stablecoin treasury. But this blockchain was built by Stripe and Paradigm. You see all these partners that's with it? You got DoorDash, you got Hoshi, you see what I'm saying? Klarna. So MasterCard. So it ain't about you choosing both. It's about you being able to move within the digital world. You won't need the UBI. You see what I'm saying?
So it's like even if they issue the UBI, you wouldn't be in need of it. You already have your stuff going.
Basically, you already got your value. Your value is already over here, so you already know how to operate over here. So you can create value over here in the digital world, so you'll be okay. But let's just say you don't know anything. You just wake up and ain't nobody using a dollar no more, and you don't got nothing to show for it. And then your job fire you, and you trying to, and nobody's there to teach you about blockchain and how to move around with these wallets, stuff like that.
Nah, that is scary though.
And that's where the socialism come in from, right? And don't
Yeah.
think I'm angry or like you know what I'm saying? Like don't think I'm at you or nothing. We're just talking. Um so now the socialism come in when it comes to, hey man, we just finna give people this, but it's gonna be wrapped with so much security, with digital IDs, geofencing, thing like
Surveillance
that's
state.
exactly. I'm listening.
Oh, and I'm just saying, like those are all key like attributes of a surveillance state, like a police state. Just
Right, exactly.
governmental.
But it's not forced. It's all voluntary. Like you
Yeah.
don't have to be on it.
But I think what his question is more of, if you do you have to choose, as in, am I going to be blackballed from society if I choose not to enroll in this UBI and getting a digital ID and getting tokenized on the government chain?
No, you don't have to, because if you know how to create your own value in the blockchain, because all these things are decentralized. It's not like I used to tell, like I had this lady tell me one time, man, they say they ain't laying everybody and they ain't laying all black people in Bitcoin. I'm like, none of this stuff is about nobody. Like, ain't nobody telling you, hey man, you can't get into that. I'm finna put a gun to your head. What you doing getting into that? Nobody's doing that. It ain't gonna be no such thing as all the white people stuff gonna explode and all the black people stuff gonna take a little longer. It's nothing. That's the I know what I'm saying. That's all ideology that you gotta drop. Not saying you have that. I'm saying, hey, we can create anything we want. It's a blank canvas. Once we create it, it's ours.
Yeah, we create the value. We
Right.
store and create value in everything that we do.
So you won't need the no UBI if you already putting the work in now. But that's the people that procrastinated or that just didn't know. Those are the people that's gonna need that socialism. You won't need it because you know how to create your own value.
I think I see what you're saying. It gives me ideas of like how it's going to be implemented and things like that. Like they're going to have a government issued like currency, and then it's like it's going to be like Minority Report or something because they already got Palantir and everything. It's probably going to be like Palantir. I don't know, like some government, not government, but like some defense company working with like the crypto people to make like a coin of the
It's already
USD.
here, bro. That's USDC, because USDT was the first big stable coin, and then just as it was stated, like it's a lot of shady business in Tether, and then Tether was, once they depegged from like the Swift system, Tether wasn't not necessarily bridged properly, but they didn't have the right credentialing, and they had dirty money within their Tether blockchain, that they had to
Right.
do away with Tether, and that's why the U.S. government created the U.S. dollar, is it decent USDC, which is U.S. dollar decentralized coin. But
Oh,
there's like 7 or 8 different stable coins, but once again, they're all not created equally. There's a new one that I just found out in the last like 60 days, Zcash, and that's where I store some of my money at when I'm using for some of these meme coins and just volatility aspects, because it's pegged to a 1-to-1 $1 ratio. But the ROUSD, USDBC, um, Zcash, there's so many stable coins that are going to be potentially to be used. It just depends on what road or what, blockchain that they're going to be pegged and railed to.
Well, it depends on the economy because it's like, hey, everything will be decentralized, but everything will be sustainable and self-sufficient. So you got to become a commodity, meaning probably be in Atlanta and they probably using another a stable coin or whatever it is within Atlanta.
See, I
But that
don't believe
doesn't
that they'll have.
mean,
Do they have state stable coins? Because I'm not familiar with that.
yeah. So Texas got
Wyoming
some,
has one.
right? So everybody creating their own stable coin. So that's why I say it's just going to be economies everywhere. Even with Tether, man, let me tell you this.
what
When
happened with Tether?
FTX went down, you got to remember FTX and Tether headquarters in the same area in the Bahamas. All right. When FTX went down, when Binance went down, CZ went down, all them guys went down. Everybody went down but Tether. Because Tether over there snitching, man. Tether flipped all them boys and got them out of there. So reason why Tether can't be compliant is because they got a lot. They got a lot of promissory notes. It's not nothing backing it. Like it's not nothing
It's
pegged to these
IOU.
stable.
I got you,
Right.
bro.
So and then you got all these Chinese securities. So that's what I'm saying. Like, man, it's stable coins gonna be crazy. But it you don't gotta load up on stable coins. You could just well, you don't
Well,
gotta
stablecoins would
load
be the new dollar essentially because that's where you wouldn't want to store all of your money around the different payment portals. You would still want to have some
right,
source of like bank account, and I believe that's what the creation of stablecoins is to be this digital bank account versus what you would spend money on the cryptos or on the blockchain buying commodity based assets. You would be transferring your stablecoin, bank account balance into purchasing those tokenized assets.
right. Or but like you say, every stable coin is not made equal. So it does not certain stable coins got different use cases. So you're not just gonna be using certain stable coins, especially as a retail investor. That's
Well,
just
yeah,
the
and
bottom line.
conversion rates. Because I think that that's where they're going to make, that's where the new government is going to make their money. Because no matter if we move on a digitalized payment portal or not, there's still going to be transfer fees or, taxes indirectly with these conversions. Like the conversion rates are basically going to be the new digitalized taxes. I don't know how that's going to run for like tax returns, IRS, and things like that. But I do understand that every single digital coin and stable coin or cryptocurrency comes with a conversion rate, and you don't get a one for one. You will get like a one for 0.95, and that 0.5 cent is what the government is making in their margins.
Right. And that's kind of why my boy trying to get rid of them income taxes.
Bingo. But I ain't, you said it, not me.
Hey man, my brother trying to get rid of them income taxes, man. And
Because
so
that money is it's not being recuperated. It's not the problem with income tax is just it's not being recuperated properly.
right. Now you see what I'm saying? It's not stimulating the economy like it's supposed to. Because if
Correct.
it's gonna go into hyperinflation and then boom, going to stagflation, then that's when they just gotta drop everything. So um but I think they know like there's gonna be a day where man, these countries is gonna say, man, we ain't fooling with y'all.
It just takes one black swan event. I mean, it's not if, it's when.
Win, that's all it is, win. But that doesn't, and like I say, we're not trying to put fear in nobody. It's not that the world is ending. It's just that they have to get off this inflationary system. And because you can't be in an inflationary system with a deflationary coin or monetary system. Both economies got to be deflationary. So we got to get off of it. But that's why you become an investor. Don't save nothing because it ain't going to be here in the long term. You got to start becoming an investor.
So, what would you say is the top two things leaving this community today that we can research and begin that investment path? Like the top two, either
Like,
assets or rails that you would recommend.
like hey, let's say I got $50 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I get in the upland, like digital real estate, because it's a
Show me.
marketplace. Let me see if I can show you my phone. Let me go back. All right, here we go. Let me see. Y'all can see my screen.
Yeah.
All right. I wasn't gonna get into this, but I'll just explain it. I'll give you a small synopsis of it. So Upland is tokenizing the world, but basically it's a marketplace. All these properties are NFTs. So it looked like a GIS map, but it's all NFTs. And NFTs ain't nothing but vehicles to move value.
Right.
So I could be buying these NFTs $3, $4 a piece, because everybody don't see the value in Upland because they think it's a children's game. But with tokenization, I can move my shares of whatever asset that I tokenize and resell it in this marketplace. So if I own this property, let me see if I can go to one I own. Let me see. All right. Let's just say somebody I own this property right here. All right, I own this property in Upland. I just own an image likeness that's on the blockchain. But somebody wants to resell or move their value through this marketplace. Then boom, I already own it. I only spent how much I spent on this? $5. You think I'm gonna let it go for $5? No. But there's gonna be more cryptos that's implemented into this marketplace. And what's crazy is this was crazy. This is why I say this is like the cheapest ground floor I get into that ain't gonna cost you a lot, even if you got $10 a month. Like you can really go in on here. It's a portal. I can move these NFTs off Upland into OpenSea, but in the future, when the value of somebody's property they're trying to resell, they're going to peg it to these NFTs and sell them on these marketplaces like OpenSea and stuff like that. But it
So are you
won't.
saying that they'll be selling potential deeds of physical
Well, I wouldn't
assets?
say. I'd say shares of these because remember,
Okay.
tokenization is going to be broken down into shares. It ain't going to be like one whole house. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you probably want to keep your shares. I probably want to resell my shares, but I'm gonna try to go because I can move it across wallets. So let me see something. So this is the NFT and view on blockchain. So this is you see what I'm saying? Like this is the back of the NFT. It shows you all the information on it. So y'all still can see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
All
Yeah,
right,
I
let
can
me.
see.
All right, all right. I'm gonna exit out, then I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna show you. All right, let me see something. And I ain't trying to hold y'all too long tonight. I'm just flowing, bro. All right. What about now, Isaiah? What about okay? What about everybody else?
Maybe you got a permission that you need to open up in Discord.
Um,
I can see it, but it won't expand.
Yeah, I try to go out and come back in.
Yeah, that's what I did. I was on the car mode, and I went out, came back in. Now I can see everything because I couldn't before.
I can't.
Yep.
I can't get it to expand.
all right. Hold on. I'm trying to find this article.
Oh, they got escrow service too. That's wild.
All right. So, Property was the first people to pioneer um tokenization. They finna raise $100 million to modernize, basically tokenize title company.
Oh,
All
this
right. So basically, that NFT I just showed y'all. Not saying that in particular, but let's just say when they tokenize these properties, all of these properties are gonna be back on those NFTs. So it ain't gonna be. It's gonna be undisputed. Like nobody needs an appraisal. Nobody gonna need no title companies no more because everything gonna be on a blockchain. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's where things are going to where like man, it's just gonna be like you could just go buy a house in China or you go buy a house wherever. Well, I'll say a percentage of a house, or you could buy the whole thing, whatever you want to do. But it's like the value is being transferred from the wallet to wallet. That's all it is. That's why I say
Okay.
tokenization requires accreditation, because if you are buying these, let's say, shares of these houses, that share is going to be on your ledger, but it can't be on a public ledger. It'll be on a private ledger. The only way you get on a private ledger is through accreditation. So, any questions?
Can you go back to Upland for me?
Okay. Let me put my phone on the charger.
Does Proppy have the same setup like Upland?
Nah. Probably just use, think of probably like OpenSea in a way. They just have a collection of houses and things like that.
It's like Poppy's like a marketplace essentially.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Where you could buy the house.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I'm so on here. Can you go to somebody else's property and like how would you bid on that property and like vice versa? How would somebody bid on your property?
Let's just say this one right here. I wanted to buy that one. I can offer
Okay.
UPX or property.
Oh, so I
Or if
can
they,
exchange my property for his property.
yeah, you can, yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Or you just buy USD. You offer. Oh no, I don't. You can't offer USD, because if they set the price in USD, that's what it is.
Okay.
But what's going to make this more valuable is, like I said, all that value that's being tokenized through Proppy and all these places that they're taking the value and store it on the blockchain. That's where the value can come in, because now all this value gonna need to be moving across these wallets. But only way it can move across these wallets is through NFTs, and Upland is all NFT. So by you controlling these NFTs without being accredited, the value of these NFTs are going to skyrocket. Not the price, but the value. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Can you go to
you're not
Atlanta?
going
A better
they
way to
haven't spoken. Oh, trust me, bro. I'm waiting.
Also,
I probably got
every state isn't open yet.
right. I got like $500 sitting in the cut ready for Atlanta.
Oh yeah. I was
Because
about to
I'm
say
like,
that's what like we should if more people are involved. I know they have an up plan like a chat or whatever, but if more people are involved, that's how the best way to build and be able to build equity as a group. You know, we all go in and like get some properties on a particular block or use it's like
yeah, I want to buy Mercedes
rent
Benz
out
Stadium. It's the best
Right.
asset.
So there's NFL stadiums on here.
I would, and that's what I was thinking of. That was the first thing I'm
Yeah,
like,
they got
I want to buy
this
big
NFL.
property.
Look, they partner with the NFLPA Players Association.
Okay, that's dope.
Go.
Yeah, it's tough.
to build.
You could buy players' contracts.
Nah, man, you tripping.
That's
I'm about to say.
a good
So
question,
somebody
though.
owns the New Orleans Stadium right now.
Nah, they got the players' faces. Like, dang, what's going on?
I think that the NFLPA own it. The Players
Oh,
Association. They
okay.
own it.
So they own basically the larger corporations own these larger entities.
Right. No, I'm saying they already here. So the people like, oh, it's just a children's game. I'm like, bro, they're already here, but they disguise it as a children's game.
Oh, okay.
So like, where I'm at. So look, no, not here. So I got jerseys, I got hats. You know what I'm saying? Um, but these are all NFTs. You see what I'm saying?
And I would assume this is possibly on a collegiate scale as well if it's on the NFL.
It will be, but you know that NIL and stuff like that, and NCAA. I don't know how that's kind of tricky. So I don't know. So, but yeah, like that. I'm saying, like they disguise it as So this company right here. This is a large realtor right here, and they have a metaverse already. So Sotheby is a large realtor, right?
They appraise art in real life.
They disguise it as art, but bro, the smart contracts on the back of the art is houses and assets. But because we're not accredited, we can't see it.
Dang.
So it looked like, oh man, this art was sold for 60 million. That's an asset that nobody knows what's been sold. They just see it's art. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's what
I
they
was
did
wondering
with
why,
Bored
because
8.
my bad.
No, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I was wondering why. Like, is that why like a bunch of art was being sold and it wasn't really like
Right,
anything like crazy?
right. Because the assets that was on the back of the NFT that's what's really being sold, not the actual NFT.
Bro, that's just money laundering, but don't ask me.
Yeah,
It is, but
you're
it's
right.
That's why I didn't believe in NFTs. Like my profile picture is an NFT, but I had somebody create it and I can own the rights to it. But outside of small little, like pictures like this and shit like that, NFTs from my just general ideology just look like very money laundering platforms than anything else.
Yep. Because
all right. So here's the same company right here. Look how
Vice
much
chair.
money they put in. So for every 1,000 UPX is $1,000. It's $1. So they put $714,000 inside this metaverse.
Almost a million. That's crazy.
You can go. Well, every 1,000 UPX. So look, yeah. So it's 714 UPX, right? 7 million. But if you divide it by 1,000, that's $714,000.
And this is
So
on Upland.
yeah, this is Upland, but this is the realtor. This is their profile.
And you
It
can
says
see.
140. That's
Okay,
big.
that was my app. Yeah, because you can see what another profile
Yeah,
owns.
you
Like if I click
they
on
own,
any
right,
one of them, I can see
right,
all the other profiles.
right.
Okay, yeah, because that's what I would want to do.
That's crazy.
And they got Tokyo. Okay, yeah, so they buying big property. What it looks like.
Last month it
Yeah,
just
that's
dropped
that.
Singapore. I don't know
they're
if
making
anybody,
money too.
but Singapore just dropped.
$300.
You can
So
buy
this,
properties in Greenland.
if they tokenize it, but let's see what all they got tokenized here. All right, they got New Orleans, they got Rio. So
They
you got
got
Rio right here in Brazil.
No,
they
What
got
about Venezuela?
nah, not yet.
Not yet. Got Spain, Portugal,
What's
Paris.
the airplane?
So basically, you can own a terminal. So because you got to travel to these places. If you want to buy new properties, like if they open a new city, you got to travel there. But let's just
Oh,
say this terminal. If I own one of these, so this guy right here, he's selling. Well, that's on the web. Let's see. I don't want to log in on the web, but they're selling them. But when you say available on web, that means they're selling it for USD
That
price.
means stupid high
Yes,
too.
yeah, basically. But
market price.
every time somebody use your terminal, you get paid.
Okay, yeah, intermediate makes sense.
Yo, I mean, someone was making money too. It was like 10,000 UPX, so they made like $1,000 in like a month
Yeah.
passively.
So like right now, I probably get like how much I get. Um, I get
Do you buy
$20.
do you buy businesses on here?
You can create a business.
That's with
Hey
like the
Isaiah, mute up.
metaverses and stuff like
Can you
that, right?
purchase existing businesses?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me show y'all. Let me see. All right. Whatever city you in, there's always this white council right here. So you city hall, right? And then the meta venture application. That's where you let me see something. Oh god. 45.
See it on the iPhone. It'll bring up the message code for you. But I'm just pro iPhone. I could never go to an Android.
Oh, and Applebee got down.
They steal. Everybody steals, brother.
All
Yeah,
right.
Google got lawsuits too.
All right,
So
there
you
you
feel
go.
me? Google, they was taken down. They was the
Uh,
number one search engine. That shit was illegal. They was running a monopoly for 15 years.
yeah, I got to get off Google because they put just Gemini on my phone without me
They're
confirming it.
shilling. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just AI. So here we go. So you can apply for like. So you got to have a residence or a property to open a business on. But these are all my properties that I'm building. So, um, but yeah, this meta venture application, that's where you apply to business. But they'll ask you like 30 questions. Like, what product you doing? You could tokenize products on here. It's like a whole lot of stuff. Um, but this is one, if I was like, all right, I got $20 a month, I'll put it over here and I forget about it. But I go in, boom, 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 like knocking down these NFTs and just building my portfolio up. So that upland chat I got in there, that's what I'll be like like tomorrow. I get on and I show people how to really get in, so you can grow your portfolio faster rather than buying UPX and stuff like that. You'll be straight, but it requires a lot of engagement. Like it ain't like once you get to where you're going, you'll be good. But you got to buy Sparklet too, like because we're trying to build a node or a digital nation within Upland, so where we control our value within these NFTs.
What chain is this on?
EOS, but EOS evolved into Volta.
You could show me like what it looks like.
Uh, so EOS it was EOS, but EOS is like primarily gaming and stuff. But now Volta is like a finance chain. It's more for finance, Web3 bank. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like Upland is a real thing, real world assets tokenization, like bridging, like stuff like you see what I'm saying? Like, but but EOS is like they don't use it no more. But you talking about how it looks on the blockchain with Upland? That's what you're asking?
I mean, like, what currency do I use to use this stuff? Because you're talking about
No. All right.
like,
So all right. So you will use USD to buy these NFTs, but Upland has their own crypto called Sparklet. That's what you use to build.
yeah, that's what I want to know.
So this
can
right
only
here.
max out.
But
You can only or structure. You can only build use 75,000 for the time structure.
right, but like you say, if you got everybody building at the same time, you'll be good. You don't got to worry about waiting that long because we can all once you put Sparklet on Upland, you can never lose it. So you can donate it once the property done, it goes back to your account.
It's for me, like it's maybe this isn't a good comparison, but it's kind of like staking in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
It is
Because once
staking.
you buy it, you're staking it within the platform
It is staking. So
and
it
send
is
it out to people in UPX.
right, right. So now you can make income off of it by renting it out. But like I say, you don't got to go that route off the gate. But like I say, if you just trying to get a little something without going broke, I'll start off with Upland because this will be the easiest way to. You could buy 10 NFTs a month and you'll just accumulate like that because there's a lot of fake people in Upland that don't know what it is. They think it's just a game, but it's not. Because all the value of these properties in the NFT, not NFTs, but real estate, is going to be tokenized. But that doesn't mean the value can't flow through these marketplaces. And Upland is one of these marketplaces to where they're going to be using to, because it's the only blockchain, I mean, metaverse that's pegged 1-to-1. So there's no other metaverse that's look like this, to where they got every property is an NFT. Remember, NFTs ain't nothing but tokenization. That's all it is. So that's all. Like, I'll get into that. But to answer your second question, Ishmael, basically you have to choose what cryptos or what you want to get into. I can't suggest anything because I don't know who you are, what you, not you personally, but I'm just saying people in general. I don't know what you into. Like, you have to figure out that true to yourself. Like, hey man, I like gaming. I like this. I like gambling. I'm into healthcare. Whatever it is, like whatever you like doing, then try to find that in the metaverse. So then that's where you can start from. And then if you give me that, then I can give you a better direction.
For me personally, I'm into healthcare. One thing I did some research on and kind of did my due diligence on was Ocean Protocol, because they're essentially tokenizing like medical health records. And that's, for me, that's a big deal, because I know that any person that goes through the medical system has a medical health record that's going to be tokenized. So that's just how I kind of like structure my thinking into going into certain things. Like, I'm in the healthcare region. I'm planning on staying in it, so this is something that would benefit me in the future by just being involved. But I know that I'm not gonna, like, build anything on Ocean, like a infrastructure per se, like where I'm like, buying all these medical records per se, but I want to be involved in the infrastructure itself. So I'm not, you don't have to ape into something just because it's in your direction. You just want to make sure you have a position that's good enough for you to be able to move within that space, how you want to move.
And a lot of people got to realize fiat is not money. Money is anything that could be liquidated in 12 months. So houses, equity is money. You is money, because your life insurance, that's money. But fiat is the exercise of money. So crypto is going to be the exercise of money. So that's all it is. So you need to start getting cryptos that you can exercise the type of money that you want. Like the value, when I say money, just value. And once you realize, like, man, fiat ain't, man, you're not gonna be able to, like, you won't need no fiat, you won't need no UBI, because you'll be moving around. And by you surrounding yourself with other people that's doing what you're doing, you don't gotta worry about being outcast or alone or not knowing what's going on. You'll be okay, because now you can build, with people. But if you just all alone, and that cold wallet ain't like, think you just finna get your cold wallet and sit in the corner. Right now you need it. But in the future, it's like, man, you gotta know, like I said, that's why I said estate planning, like what's going on. Like, you gotta know what's going on. Cause ain't no customer service when it comes to DeFi. So when something happens, it's like, hey man, you just lost it. At least JP Morgan to insure your assets. So, but it is getting late. I'm gonna wrap it up, y'all. It was nice talking to you guys, and we'll check back in next Thursday. Man, if you guys got any suggestions of what we want to talk about, just DM me on Discord. Then I'll, you know what I'm saying, I will choose, like, all right, this one would probably be good. But most of my topics I be trying to be elementary so I don't overwhelm people with information. Granted, I am talking to Ishmael and, and things like that, to where they're knowledgeable about these things, but I be trying to talk about elementary topics so I can gradually get to where Now we can go deep diving into certain things. But again, lose the fear. The world ain't ending, it's just changing. Just stop saving and become an investor. Before we go, anybody got any questions?
Good session.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all pulling up.
All right, man. All right, Isaiah.
Next time
Yeah,
I make
thanks.
sure I'm not disciplining
Yeah,
my kids when I
good
when we
session,
start
man.
the chat.
All right, D.
All right, dog.
Yeah,
All
D.
right,
Thanks for
everybody. Yeah.
the uplands. Showing us the uplands. That was good.
All right, man. If you serious about it, tomorrow I got a call. I'll be on here tomorrow. But it'll be like I said, be real engaged. It ain't like sitting in the back chilling. Like you gotta really be engaged because people need you to help build.
What time you
So
doing?
uh like 7:30. It'll be like 7:30 around the same time.
I got work, but I'll see what happens.
But if not, bro, like Saturday, if you free Saturday, I'll just do a 1-on-1 with you with Upline.
Um, like I work weekends. Like I work like all weekend, even
It's
Sunday.
24 hours in a day. Your job got you for 24 hours.
No, I'll call you later. I'll
All
call
right,
you like weekend.
I got you. But yeah, just it requires a lot of engagement. So, not a lot, but you really got to know what's going on and grasp the information. But it will benefit you too. It ain't like I'm just trying to pull equity out of you. I'm trying to build you up so everybody else can be strong together.
All right, that's what's
Yeah.
up.
All
All right,
right.
I'm out.
All right, y'all.
All right.
All right.